Hey guys, if you're here to get some tips on how to work from home effectively, especially now during the COVID-19 lockdown, you've come to the right place because I'm gonna share with you my 5 tips to working effectively from home. So stick around. Hello and welcome back. I'm so happy that you're here. My name is Morilla. This YouTube channel is for entrepreneurs, bloggers, and content creators. If you are new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to give me a like, and don't forget to comment below if you've got any questions. I'm here to help. Now, before we get into it, I want to make something clear. If you're watching this video, that means that you're probably in the middle of a lockdown, like everywhere else around the world, because we're literally in the middle of a global pandemic. Now guys, I want to say, this is not a joke. So please wash your hands before and after watching this video and make sure that you're taking notes and paying attention because these tips are super important and they're really gonna help you get productive and work more efficiently, especially when you're working from home, and kind of get rid of all the distractions, all right? So let's get into it. Oh, I have my handy dandy notebook. I don't know why I'm talking like this. It's because I've been quarantined for 9 days. As someone who works from home, this is easy for me, right? Like working from home, I work from home all the time. It's not a big deal. Being told that you only have to work from home is really stressful. So, I'm just kidding. I've been doing this for like 5 years. Okay, so before we get into it, I wanna say something. The most important thing out of this whole process is that you give yourself grace. And when I say grace is be kind to yourself, guys. The struggles with working from home are that sometimes you can work really hard and burn out quickly, or sometimes you don't work at all because you find other ways to keep yourself distracted and you turn procrastinated, and then you get upset with yourself because you didn't do what you needed to do, then you didn't accomplish goals, and then you feel useless and worthless, and then it's a dark, deep hole. I've been there, I've done that. Don't get into it. So you've come to the right place, I promise, because I'm gonna give you the tips that have helped me from keeping a balance, okay? And that is literally the most important thing, is having grace and having balance. When you set times for yourself to do stuff, you wanna make sure you keep those times and you keep them for yourself. Remember, that is the most important thing. All right, so let's get into it. Tip number 1, setting boundaries. This, I feel like, oh my God, what do you mean setting boundaries? I mean, finding a space in your home that is your creative space just to work. If it's a closet, if it's the bedroom, don't use the bedroom, by the way. Like, I highly recommend you do not work from bed. Chances are you will fall asleep. Promise, okay? So, I wouldn't say work from a closet, but you know what I mean. My point is that you wanna make sure you have a creative space slowly where you can get your work done. And it is literally your office where you can sit down at a desk or at a table and you just focus on the things that you need to get done. Leads me to tip number 2, schedule, schedule, schedule. Okay, this sounds really tedious and silly, but it really works. Almost pretend like you're not working from home, like you're working at an office. So if you've chosen your creative space and you know where your office is, you have that time for yourself, you wanna make sure that you show up just like if you were going to the office. So wake up, get dressed, have a cup of coffee, and sit down at your desk and work for the designated time. Got it? Don't fool around, don't play with your dog. I don't have a dog. But if I did, I would probably play with my dog, so I can imagine that's really hard. So tip number 3 is set time for yourself. So I have this toy that I like to use, and it is a cube, and I got it on Amazon. The link will be in the description. It's probably like $4. This thing is godsend, okay? So what I do is I schedule work and things that I need to get done, and I time myself. And I turn off social media, like I go into Instagram and I actually turn off my notifications, or I put the sleep mode on my phone so nobody can call. And I make sure that I get work done using this. Another tip that I use, and I highly recommend, is using Google Calendar to schedule your time and when you're working and when you're not working. And now this is the time that you really wanna respect. You wanna take time to have lunch. So just like when you're at work and you're at an office where from maybe 12 to 1 or 1 to 2, you go out to get lunch, you wanna make sure you do that for yourself when you actually go to lunch, right? Because it's important. You need to eat your veggies. That's right. You wanna make sure that you're putting in time to actually eat as if you really were working in an office, and you wanna make sure that you leave your creative space because it's important to get your mac and cheese, you guys. You wanna make sure that you turn off when you're supposed to turn off. And what I mean is, if you work from 9 to 5, you wanna make sure that at 5:30, you're done, you completed what you completed throughout the day, and that's it. Give yourself the grace to know that you worked as hard as you could, and what's done is done. You need to have that me time versus that work time. This is what balance is all about, and this is the most important thing about working from home. Because again, you do not want to overwork yourself. I promise. Now, let's talk about tip number 4. For those of you that don't live alone, creating boundaries with the people that you live with is extremely important. You want to let your family members know what time you're working and what time you're not working so that they don't distract you and they don't bother you. Again, you want to create those boundaries. So make sure you have those conversations. You want to let your mom know, Mom, I'm working. You want to let her know you're working from home. Last but not least, tip number 5. Okay, so plan. This is probably the best way to make sure that you get work done, you have boundaries, and you're creating balance. The night before you go to sleep, I create a to-do list of everything I need to get done. And the morning when I wake up, after I'm done journaling, meditating, doing all my morning routine, as if I was going to an office, and I sit down at my office, I write down the 3 things I'm going to accomplish in the day. Now, I want you guys to be practical. My pro tip with this is that you write down the 3 easiest things to get done first. Because this is what happens. When you knock out the easiest stuff first and you cross it off your to-do list, 1, it feels good, so it gives you endorphins, and 2, it allows you to also make space for the big projects because you already know you got the tedious stuff out of the way. Okay, so there you guys have it. You have my 5 tips to working home effectively during this COVID-19 lockdown. We're gonna run through it one more time so we make sure we're crystal clear. Number 1, you wanna make sure you're setting boundaries. You have a creative space where you are working, and you wanna make sure that that's the place that you show up every single day from 9 to 5 and just work. Number 2, you wanna create a schedule. It's almost like as if you're working at an office, you wanna do the same thing when you're working from home. I know it sounds silly, but just pretend, trust me, it works. Just like you wake up in the morning and you have a cup of coffee and you have to rush to your desk, you have to rush to the office, rush to your desk and sit down and get work done. Number 3, set time for yourself. And what I mean is actually block off time for when you're working and when you're playing. Make sure to turn off when you're playing and work when you're working. Number 4, let people in your life know when you're working so they do not bother you. And number 5, plan. You wanna schedule out your day, create that to-do list either the night before or the morning of everything you need to accomplish. And my tip is that you use 3 goals that you wanna accomplish that day. And you wanna start with the smallest tasks first, all the way down to the biggest. All right, you guys, so there you have it. You have my 5 tips to working home effectively. I really hope this was helpful. Let me know where you're at with your journey. Let me know where you're from and how many days you've been quarantined. And if you're well and safe, I really hope that you guys are, especially in a time like this. I have a free Facebook group you guys can join where I'm in there every day. We're having awesome conversations about being an entrepreneur, the struggles of what's happening and all the things. And that's where you can catch me every single day. You can find the description in the box below. Until next time, you guys, please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to like or comment. And I wish you guys all the best. Please be safe and healthy. Don't forget to wash your hands and have a beautiful and blessed day. Bye.